Yes, people, yes, people, yes, people. What's good? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. 90 plus XT back again with another video, and this time we're tackling VAR again. Yes, another week has gone by, and here we are again. Some contentious, some dubious, some questionable decisions from our officials in the Premier League this week. And it's only right we start with a slightly light one. It is what it is. Rodri on Dan Burns. Man City versus Newcastle. It was a great game to watch. Both teams going at it. Both teams trying to win, and I actually feel sorry for Newcastle because they could have got away with a point and even a win in some instances here. But I wanted to talk about this decision right here because I, if you watched it, you know what happened in this scene right now. Basically, free kick to Newcastle, ball floated in from the left hand side, and as you know, players lined up on the 6 yard penalty area. Um, Rodri decides to push Dan Burns, which puts him straight away in an offside position. Now he goes and scores shortly after the little push ball comes in, boom, good goal. Yeah, that's what you thought. That's what I thought. But run it back. It was ruled to be offside. Now the question is, can you be offside if an opponent player pushes you offside, or should that, it should be null and void because end of the day, Dan Burns wasn't didn't mean to be offside. He wasn't offside before Rodri pushed him. So How can now how can now he be punished for being offside when Rodri blatant as ever pushes him in the offside position? Yes, we get it. Football is a physical game. Now and again, players push and shove, just like in the Everton game yesterday, Monday night, Everton v Man United. Every time a corner came in, Everton players, Man United fans, they were pushing and shoving, pulling like Euro getting dashed inside the box by what's his name, the Everton don. Anyway, pushes him into the net, literally, like physically, like it got messy. So everyone gets football is a physical sport, man. Them, you get what I'm saying. But this one, I honestly thought it should have stood. The goal should have stood because end of the day is Rodri's insane decision to push Dan Burns is what puts Dan Burns offside. So there's nothing Dan Burns could have done about it because before the ball was kicked in and before Rodri actually pushed him, he was onside. Okay, the one could argue, could he have scored if he stayed? Not, come on, of course chances are he would have. You get what I'm saying? But that's the first light one. I'm starting off light. Yeah, I'm gonna walk you through some more contentious, not contentious, contentious decisions. But this one, let's park that. Let's move on to the next one. Now, the next one to me, I don't know what is going on. Like, I might as well use the cliche word. The game's gone. I don't know what VAR is actually doing because it made no zero sense to me because Mawani light push on Gabriel. Moani scores. Good goal. No issues, in my humble opinion. And if you don't know, obviously, it was Steve Banks. He was the referee in charge in the North London derby, Arsenal. Sorry, Tottenham versus Arsenal. And I'm not gonna lie. This goal should have stood. Moana should have got 2 goals in this game. No ifs or buts, and that would have made it very interesting because it would have been 2-2 shortly after Arsenal had gone ahead. You get what I'm saying? So this, in my opinion, should have been allowed. Why do I say that? Because in my own game, Liverpool versus Spurs, 2 3 weeks ago, can't remember exactly. Um, Ekatike jumps just before he jumped, a light little push on Romero, and the goal was given. No ifs or buts. The goal was given in real time, and we can argue on pitch decisions. 9 times out of 10, VAR likes to go with the on-field decision, but now and again when it's, let's not even say when it's contentious or anything. Now and again, they just decide. PGMOL just decide to contradict the referee and say, no, come and look at this. Something ain't right. So sometimes they get that right, but most of the time they don't, because this Ekatike goal stood. I thought it was gonna be chalked off. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be chalked off, and Spurs are gonna have a game on their hands basically, because we narrowly won it, because Spurs towards the end of that game they were coming at us, they were giving it their all, and this, in my humble opinion, I thought it was gonna be chalked off, but to my surprise, it wasn't chalked off. Even Gary Neville, I'm I'm gonna who himself, he said Romero should have been more stronger. When Ekatike put two hands at the back of him, light push, nothing major. I thought it was gonna be ruled off because talking about consistency and inconsistency, in the past I've seen similar goals ruled off. Ruled for foul. So excuse me for expecting this goal to be ruled out. But it stood. Happy days, no problems. But so tell me why, if this goal, Ekatike against Romero against Spurs, if this goal stood, why on earth did the Moani goal not stand? Because one could argue that the push was even lighter. Moani's little push, light as a feather, but Gabriel went down like he got shot, like a sniper just took him down, like a bomb just went off. It was so dramatic, it was so exaggerated, like an official of Steve Banks's um, caliber should have clocked it, should have seen it, and definitely should have awarded Spurs a goal, and it would have been 2-2, and it definitely would have been an interesting game. But somehow it was ruled off. So I'm confused. Again, like I said, VAR inconsistencies, because I've said it many times and I'll say it again, even as a ex-referee myself, it's it's fine if you get, okay, it's not fine, but sometimes referees and officials get decisions wrong, but at least be consistent with it. If you get it wrong in similar circumstances all the time, cool. No one's gonna expect no different. But if one week it's a goal, another week it's not a goal, another week it's a foul, another week it's not a foul, what we doing? It doesn't make no sense. So this goal, in my opinion, should have stood, and it's not even nothing to do with Arsenal agendas or anything like that. I'm just talking about just pure officiating going on. Ekatike's goal stood. This one should have stood, because this touch, this little push nudge on Gabriel was even lighter than what Ekatike done to Romero. And Gary Neville said on Sky Live, he said Romero should have been stronger. I would argue Gabriel should have been stronger. He wasn't, and he just dramatically just felt like he got shot. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, it's nonsense. So let's move on to the next controversial one, which again, some fans will say this, some fans will say that, but this one here, um, Chelsea versus Leeds. Now this, in real time, I thought there's no way they're gonna give that as a penalty. No way, because it was light as a feather. No ifs or buts. No way that's a gonna be given. But guess what? This was given as a penalty. Light little push. Yes, Pedro went flying again. A little bit exaggeration, and again the referee. I can't remember his name right now, but he's also one of the Prem's best referees. Should we add? He got this completely. He gave this as a penalty to Chelsea. He gave it as a penalty, and but most fans would have thought, no way, you can't give that as a penalty, but he gave it. So again, another inconsistency. Um, the next inconsistent one that I wanted to talk about obviously involves my team, Liverpool. Um, Sunday's game, it was against Nottingham Forest at the City Stadium, and a ball was drilled by Jesus, drilled to the back of Van. Okay, Van Dijk turned as the ball was coming to shield it, whatever. But the ball hits him right at the back of the head, and immediately Van Dijk goes down. And fans, rivalry aside, everyone knows Van Dijk is made of stronger stuff and rarely goes down unless something's serious. And the rules dictate head injuries, game must be immediately stopped. But guess what? The game wasn't stopped. The game went on for a good minute and a half or thereabouts. Someone will correct me in the chat, but the game continued while Van Dijk was laying down, dazed pretty much, from what I saw in real time. But fortunately, it was good. It was up not too long after when the ball did eventually go for a throw on. And again, I'm just highlighting the inconsistency because it made no sense that um, the referee did not blow the whistle and stop the game immediately, because that was the clear and obvious. There's nothing dubious or contentious about a ball licking your head back and you just drop to the floor. There's nothing to argue about. You get what I'm saying? So another inconsistency with VAR that I don't know what's going on. Some weeks, instant, they stop the game. Even when moments a team has scored, but head injury, instant stop. He should stop. Let's just keep that consistency, because end of the day is about safety, it's about welfare, it's about looking after the players and doing the right things and making the right calls at each and every interval of the game as things happen. And when you start, it could have been bad. We don't know. And science will tell you with head injuries and collisions, it that the problem doesn't always appear. It doesn't reveal itself instantly or minutes, hours, weeks, hours. Sometimes it's months and years down the line. So we need to be careful. Hence, rule was brought in some years ago, even in grassroots, that kids of a certain age should not head the ball, and they just, which is, I thought it was a good move and a great ruling to bring in to protect the young up and coming ballers out there. So these rules are on in there for a purpose. Back to the Arsenal and Spurs game. Now, this one, there's no way in my mind, no Arsenal hate again. This one here, if you saw it in real time like I did, Gabriel had no intentions whatsoever to get the ball. Throughout this segment, when the ball was floated over, Gabriel had no intentions of getting the ball, and he literally just took out Muani. Once again, took him out, and if he didn't take him out, potentially Muani would have gone on and scored a goal, because there was light and day. What's his name? Raya would not have been able to get there in time. It was basically in no man's land. You get what I'm saying? So either Raya would have to come up with some fantastic save, or Wane would have skied it or just missed the target completely, because this was again, back to him down here, Steve Banks. Now, I've got this picture up for a reason, because Steve Banks is not short of controversial decisions, should we say? Because at the end of the day, someone mocked this up for a reason, because for some reason his decisions always seem to favour Arsenal, and for years running jokes have been here, there, everywhere that he's an undercover Arsenal supporter or something. It doesn't matter. But the point I'm trying to make is the decisions he made on Sunday, in the Sunday Super Sunday, cost Spurs. Yes, Spurs didn't offer the best of themselves. They didn't do that great in terms of trying to win the game, because once it was 3-1, they pretty much just gave up. And yeah, it was a walk in the park for Arsenal at the end of the day. So I'm not going to try to milk it and say, yeah, Spurs could have won, could have come back. But those decisions that Steve Banks made, it was at crucial points in the game. Moani, light push on Gabriel, would have been 2-2. Yeah? he could have changed things. And we all know goals change momentum. Goals have a different effect on a game. Even if you're dominating, and then suddenly the other team just score from a one little break. You get what I'm saying? One little break, boom, changes the whole game. Like, I'll give you a great example. Yesterday in the Everton versus Man United game, the game was very cagey, very physical. Everton wanted a physical game, but um, it just took one moment of brilliance from Konya, lit the ball, hit a diag right across to Embremo, and Sesko was on his back, and the right back just could not keep up with Sesko, and he was free. Ball given to him on the left. Sesko opens up his leg, whatever, bends it, bottom right hand corner. So it's marginal moments in games changes the whole trajectory, changes the whole momentum for one team to another. Because then Man United had more chances to try and score and win the game, and if it wasn't for a better pass, they would have scored two. But in the end, they won 1-0, so it's neither here or there. I was just trying to point out that moments in games, a goal at the right moment, right time changes everything, momentum. And Spurs yesterday were the home team. Sorry, not yesterday, Sunday. Today's Tuesday. Spurs were the home team, and they were rejuvenated. They were trying to go toe to toe with Arsenal. End of the day, I'm sure they're tired of getting spanked by Arsenal in most games. So yeah, no surprises that they wanted things changed. So again, this decision was diabolical, and he should have got a Spurs should have got at least a free kick, in my humble opinion, because Gabriel tried all the dark arts, tried to make it like it was just a innocent coming together. But if you're a referee, if you're a fan watching it on TV, even live or in the stadium, you'd see Gabriel had no chance of getting the ball. He was not looking at the ball. All he wanted to do was take down Muani and prevent him from running go on through to go to score basically. And it's sad, man. But once again, another week, another VAR controversy, another VAR inconsistency. So and I don't know where we're gonna go, man. PGMOL, Howard Webb, all you lot. Once again, fans are begging for some consistency instead of inconsistency. To just bring the professional game up to par, up to where we want it to be. Because end of the day, most fans are neutral. If one team is better than the other, they go and score a bag of goals and they win without any controversial moments. Cool, no problem. Even in Sunday League, even in academy games, yes, officials get decisions wrong here and there, but let's just be consistent. Let's just try and do the best we can. And if you've got VAR available to help you, let's make it helpful and let it not harm the game, should we say. Um, One last one I wanted to talk about before I leave you guys is the offside situation in the what game was it? The Liverpool versus was it Liverpool versus Fulham? Um, I honestly don't know what to say, guys, because I'm just trying to get the graphics for you in real time as I record it, because I don't do edits, I don't do any of that stuff. But so sometimes you just have to bear with me for a little bit. But um I thought it was controversial. I honestly thought it was gonna be given offside, because in real time and even in some of um the replays, um, I thought it was offside, but somehow VAR ruled it that it was onside. So I'm just getting up the graphic for you so you guys can see what is exactly what I'm talking about. But like I said, it was the Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest game yet on Sunday. Now, this is the graphic on the left, far left, as you can see here, is what was shown um, to show that Van Dijk was actually onside, and there's a Forest player behind him that was playing him offside. So rival fans, many fans have talked about it. So what? What we're doing here with offside? So if a man's shoe size is bigger than the next man, so they're gonna be offside because the defender's foot is bigger than the attacker's feet. Like, is this what we're doing now? And then there's this 5 centimeter rule. So I'm confused. I thought it was gonna be ruled off because moments ago, McAllister's first goal, because he scored twice, McAllister's first goal was ruled off for a handball because what's his name? Ola tried to clear the ball. The ball inadvertently hits McAllister's arm, although he was claiming it was the back of his top of his shoulder, but in replay shows that it actually hit his arm. So the goal was ruled off. So that's consistent at least. So any goal that's scored with any part of the arm is immediately ruled off. No goal or a foul. Cool, no problem. But then shortly after, we had this moment where Van Dijk was, to the naked eye, it looked like it was offside, and he headed the ball back in for the keeper to save it, and then the ricochet rebounds in McAllister's path. He slots it in for to make it 1-0 in the dying seconds of the game, and Liverpool go ahead to win the game. Cool, no problem. I was happy, but at the same time, I wasn't sure with the offside decision because I've seen some of these ruled out. I've seen some of these given. So once again, fully back in the consistent, inconsistent. So um that's it for this week. But there was more of there's other ones I could have picked up, but these are my favorite ones that I wanted to talk about and discuss at length. And I think we'll leave it there for this week. Until next time, peace.